Fly through the air as I had to fulfill my purpose. To shake the whole earth with a boom when I hit the surface. They trembling nervous. They know I'm coming for certain. To murder all these niggas, devour all of these serpents. I patiently waited to turn up with fervent heat now that I'm activated. I'ma blow cause it's World War III. I hear you weeping, you're mourning, your next near the T. Hiroshima and Nagasaki ain't got nothing on me. I was raised by chemists. I was made for the judgment. Don't be testing my limits. Don't be pushing my buttons. In the Bible they call me flame and rebuke. And you know that that's the truth, but my homies call me nuke. I was sent here to destroy pleasures of sin. In the day of darkness, even darker than when the day began. Annihilation, no time for evacuations. When these warheads split, it look worse than decapitations. Repented dies such a genocide or was genocide.
I be damn if I'm gonna leave this sheep out here, gather. I'ma hold the line.
We have a lot of newer people. So how many people this is gonna be your first Passover? Okay, see that's just about everybody right there. So Brother Azariah, I guess it's gonna be kind of repeat for you because I did it in Tupelo. When was that? Last Sabbath? Okay, yeah. And Soldier J. Judah, kind of repeat for you because you were there. But you know what? The first time I kept the Passover, you really didn't get all the understanding. So that's why the scriptures say not a novice. So, hey, we the Israelites. The Passover is only to be kept by who? The Israelites, right? That's a commandment for us. So how we know we Israel? Because the Most High say, I'm going to jack you up so bad that the only way you're going to be able to know who you are is by what? My judgments, okay? So I'm gonna prove to you right quick that we the Israelites. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 46. You got me, brother?
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46.
Read.
And they shall be upon thee.
So this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. He said, look, if you break God's commandment, these gonna be upon you. Start at 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So God told the Israelites, through Moses, the prophet Moses, if you do not keep my commandments, these curses going to be upon you for a sign and for a wonder. So what's a sign do? Tell you something, right? Like if you finna go get you some church chicken, what you going to do? You're going to look for the sign. That's right. So when we go out and teach the Bible, what we do? We look for the sign. And where are people at? In the work part of the city. Because who told us it was going to happen like that? The Bible told us. So when we go out to teach, we go to the towns where the Arabs store at. Because God said that was going to happen too. That the other day they're going to lend to you. And you're not going to lend to them. So we go to the worst parts of the city. We can set up at the Arab store. And we can teach. Because that's what the Most High said was going to happen to our people. Give me Deuteronomy 28, 37.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37.
Listen, one of these curses that he said was going to be upon you for breaking the commandments. Read.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword.
God said, if you don't keep my commandments, you so-called Israelites, you so-called blacks who are the Israelites, you're going to become an astonishment, meaning a great wonder, okay? Like when you see the black man on 28s with the, what are you driving, like a Lincoln or something? A box Chevy on 28 that's scrubbing. The wheel so big it's scrubbing the car. And then you got the black woman with the blonde hair. She ain't got no black screens, just all blonde. What do you think the Chinese man gonna do? What he gonna do? He gonna shake his head at you. He gonna say, man, look at this. You know? But God said that was gonna happen to you for doing what? Breaking my commandments. Now, bro, what's your name right there? You shaking your head.
Right here?
Yeah.
Brother Boyle.
Broyle, where you from, bro?
Atlanta.
Atlanta camp? Okay, all praise to the Most High. So look, give me Psalm 44 and 14 because well, hey, look, I shake my head when I see Jake. We be out there at camp. Brother rolled by. He got on, he got the 28s on the box Chevy, and the car spray painted Tropicana. Tropicana orange juice. Read that out.
Psalms chapter 44 and verse 14.
Read.
Thou makest us a byword among the heathen.
You hear that? God said, I'm make you a byword among the heathen. Nigger, coon, African American. He said, I'm going to make you a byword among the heathen. Read.
A shaking of the head among the people.
You hear that? A shaking of the head among the people. Who did that to us? The Most High did it to us. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? He did it. Because why he did that to us as a nation? Because we won't keep the commandments, right? It's real simple, real simple. Give me Isaiah 65 and 15. Isaiah 65 and 15. Because the Most High said these things going to happen to you because you will not obey my law. One of his laws is keep the Passover. So now we coming back to keep that thing. Read.
Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 15.
Read.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
The Most High said you're going to leave your name for a curse. So my oppressor's last name was Harp. H-A-R-P. What was your oppressor's last name? I know you changed it.
Good.
Good. Okay. So what happened, how you got that last name was your slave master bought your forefathers and that name just kept on passing on down. Okay. Like this, your name would be Lewis. You was what do you say? I know you didn't change your name, brother. Brother changed your name. I'll pray to the Most High. But Lewis. So if you got bought by Master Lewis, guess what? Your name was Lewis. Okay? I'll praise to the Most High.
Hey, Lewis no more, bro.
I'll praise it, bro. I'll praise it.
That name had to be spoken in here. That name
But yeah, God say this was going to happen to you. Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 26. God say this was going to happen to you for breaking the commandments of God. That's how we know who the Israelites are today. The judgments of God. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 26.
Read.
I said I would scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease among men.
That's what happened to you. God said, I'm going to make the remembrance of you to cease from among men. No longer do they call you Judah, they call you nigger. No longer do they call you an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. They call you, what they call you? Porch monkey. He said, I'm going to make the remembrance of you to cease from among men. All right? Give me 2 Esdras 2 and 7. 2 Esdras 2 and 7. So all these things happen to us as a nation of people because we forsook the laws of God. Read that.
The book of 2 Esdras and the Apocrypha, chapter 2 and verse 7. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant.
You hear that? Our names were put out of the earth, but now truth has sprung up out of the land. Okay? So our names were put out of the earth for breaking God's laws. That's what happened to us. Okay? Give me Romans 3 and 2. Because we go out and we teach the truth every day. Doing 365 days right now. All right? And people still don't believe it. People leave here, they'll leave the congregation and say, oh man, that was a cult. That was all a lie. Read that.
The book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 2. Much every way.
Start at 1. I'm sorry.
Verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there?
I'm sorry. Romans 3 and 3. Start at 2. 3 and 3. Romans 3 and 3.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
So a lot of people, we teach the word. They say, well, look, I don't believe that. Do that make them read on? Finish that up.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Should your unbelief make the faith of God without effect? Do they stop calling you nigga because you don't believe what we telling you? No, because God's law, it's going to stand. His counsel going to stand forever, right? So just because they don't believe they know Israelite, is they still gonna, are they not gonna get discriminated against on this job? Nah, because God said, look, my counsel gonna stand. I declared the ending from the beginning. Okay, so just because your mama and your friends or whatever don't believe they the Israelites, they still under the curses. The so-called white man can shoot them down right now, and won't nothing happen to them. Why? Because the Most High said hey, that's gonna happen to you, right? So they cannot believe that. Read that again, huh?
For what if some did not believe?
Uh-huh.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
So should their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? No, just because they don't believe that they the Israelites, don't mean that these curses still ain't gonna be up on them, right? They last name still Smith and Johnson, right? They left their name for what? A curse. Now they can set up they can praise Caesar all they want, but these curses still up on them. You cannot believe, but you still gonna get these curses, okay? All right, now, so what is the Passover? If somebody asks you what is the Passover, brothers, what scripture you'll go? Not you two below, brothers. I know y'all. I just told y'all. Somebody asks you, hey, what's the Passover? What's up, brother Eli? Eli Judah. Yeah, nah. Who know it? I need a precept to tell us what is the Passover. That's your hand back there, Curtis?
Yeah, I was going to say
Exodus 12 and 11. Yeah, I like that. Let's get it. Exodus 12, start at 26. So if somebody asks you, what is the Passover? What you doing? Because what? We forget. Jake forget after what, about 5, 6 years? I give him 10. 10 years, psh, you don't know nobody. You done forgot everything. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean you by this service?
So it should come to pass, because after when you have children or whatever, they're going to say, well, why are we doing this? Read.
That ye shall say,
Uh-huh.
it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover,
Read.
who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt,
Uh-huh.
when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses, and the people bowed the head and worshiped.
So that's the Passover. That's what we do. Okay, we observe the Passover to remember how the Most High passed over and smoked the Egyptians. Okay, you the same people. You the same people that was in Egypt. Okay, y'all do know it was history before y'all came to the shores of America, right? Because the white man told you your history started when you got off the ship. But nah, you was there way before that. All right. Give me another question. How long was we in Egypt? Scripture. Because we've been in America how long now? We've been in captivity in America for about 400 years. Okay. How long were we in Egypt? Because, they always saying, Malcolm X said we've been here almost 400 years. I think it's 399 right now, bro. I was looking at it. Or maybe longer, because the first slave ships came from Spain, though. That was before 1619. So we might have been here already 400 plus. Yeah, because the first slave ships came from Spain. All right? Nobody got it? Send the same, I'll give you a hint. Send the same chapter. Right. Exodus 12 and 40. How long were we in Egypt?
Exodus chapter 12, verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
You hear that? So we was in Egypt as slaves for 430 years. Okay. So like when we was in Egypt as slaves, was it always because a lot of our people here in America, they think they got it good, right? They feel like they got it good. They got a good job. If we were to leave here, they'll want to go back, right? Same way that we was in Egypt. when we left, people started murmuring, wanting to go back. They were like, oh man, we had it good, you know. So a lot of our people don't think they in slavery. They think they got it good, okay? Especially you see Jake got him a BMW or something. Man, you tell him, bro, you in slavery? I ain't in slavery. We done had him tell us that all the time. I ain't in slavery. You can do whatever you want to do here. Okay. Don't try to go across the border. All right. Give me Exodus 1:1. We the same people. I'm going to prove it to you. Same thing happened to us in Egypt. Same thing happened to us in America. Read that.
Exodus chapter 1 and verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already.
So we all went into Egypt, okay? The forefathers went into Egypt, the 12 brothers, which became the 12 tribes, okay? Why we go into Egypt? Why did we go into slavery in Egypt? Now we went into slavery in America for what? Right, not keeping the commandments. So the Most High, he made good on his word, right? So why are we going to Egypt as a nation? They don't know. I know you know, bro. What's up?
Genesis 6:2.
Right. Let's get it, bro. Genesis 6:2. Because in Genesis, what did they call us? We're the same souls. Remember, you've been here before, okay? This ain't your first rodeo. So what did they call us in Genesis? The sons of God. Read that, 6:1.
The book of Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, that his days shall be 120 years.
So why did God cut our lifespan right there? He cut your lifespan right there. Why did he do it? Nobody? So it says the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they was fair, and they took them wives. But God got mad. Why? Raise your hand. Why did God get mad? Hey, Shalom, bro. What's your name?
Walter.
Boss?
Walter.
Walter. Oh, where you from, bro?
I'm from New York.
Okay.
Arkansas.
Okay, all praise. I didn't sound deep, man.
I don't know no scripture, but I can't go to no scripture, but I probably would say that because they start mingling with other nations.
Right.
I don't know the scripture, but I know that's probably.
Well, I ain't asking for a scripture right here. I'm just so it was interracial marriage, right? Because the sons of God and the daughters of men, proving what? That God's laws were there in Genesis, right? So why did God get mad if it wasn't no law? Okay. So, because a lot of people say, well, we didn't get the laws to Moses. That proved that the laws were there way before Moses, right? All right. So that's why we went into slavery. We were the sons of God. Okay. And when we broke the law, so guess what? We had to go into slavery because the Most High had already ordained. He made the world for us, according to 2nd Esdras. Okay. Everybody get that? No, people looking a little confused about that. What do you think?
You too deep, right?
That's too. I apologize. All right, go back to Exodus 1. Sorry about that. Oh, deep one. All right, Exodus 1, verse 7.
Exodus chapter 1 and verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
So Joseph, if y'all don't know the history, you can read, I think in Genesis 41, talk about Joseph. And Joseph became he was like high in Egypt, right? Only person that was over him was the Pharaoh, okay? And he said, what land he set us in? Goshen. Okay, he set us in Goshen. And we were kind of protected then, okay? But it's a new Pharaoh raised up that knew not Joseph. Verse 9.
And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Read.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them,
Read.
lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, their loin also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So the Egyptians say, look, man, it's a whole lot of these Israelites, these Hebrews, okay? And let's deal wisely with them in case something happens, then they'll fight against us. Read.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters,
Read.
to afflict them with their burdens.
So the Egyptians set over them taskmasters and set over us taskmasters in Egypt, and the white man did the same thing in America. They set over you, what they call them? Well, it's kind of like police officers. But like in, who seen the movie, they call them overseers. What else they call them? Nah.
Straw bosses.
Well, kind of, straw bosses. What they called the dude that was whooping Toby? Oh, he was a taskmaster, I guess. Wasn't he? I thought they called him something else. Y'all seen the movie Roots, right? A coon, no. So they set over them. So when you had the plantation, right, you had the white man that made the slaves do the work, right? He said, I guess he was a taskmaster too. So the Egyptians did the same thing. Same thing happened to us in America. Remember, Toby said his name was Kunta. But what he do when he killed? He said, you gonna change your name, boy. And he said, what's your name, boy? Toby. Kunta. Y'all help me, bro. I'm messing up. He said, my name Kunta. And what the taskmaster did? Wow. Whooped him till he called his name Toby, right? All right. He left his name for a curse. All right. All right. Read verse 11 again.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters, to afflict them with their burdens.
Read.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Python and Ramses.
So the Israelites in Egypt built for Pharaoh treasure cities. Okay? Like Pythons and Ramses. Same thing happened here in America. What treasure city did we build? New York City? DC? Who y'all think built that stuff? Y'all think the white man did? No, he had taskmasters over y'all. Wow. That's right. You built it. Same thing happened to you in Egypt, happened to you in America. Same thing. Read.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Same thing happened to us. More they afflicted us, more we multiplied and grew. Read.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Read.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Now, didn't they make us serve in rigor? You got who seen 12 Years a Slave? When you didn't pick a certain amount of cotton in that bag, what happened? You got whooped, right? And who was out there with us in the field? The sisters too. Y'all was in there with us too. And y'all was the best pickers. The sisters was the best pickers. On the movie, what's the black woman name played in the movie? She used to pick 500 pounds. Eh? She picked 500 pounds. She was the best picker. Yeah, he loved her. So, read that again.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Read.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage,
Read.
in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field.
In the what?
In the field.
So, were we not in the field? Same thing, right? Happened to us then, happened to us again. So it's called spiritual Egypt here in America. Now, just because you say you ain't no Israelite, did you not go through that? Because our people say they ain't no Israelites, right? They say they Christian, they Baptists, and Pentecostal and Pentecostal real stupid. Call yourself out to a feast day. Don't make no sense.
Sidebar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just popped in my head right there. All right, verse 14 again.
Verse 14, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick,
Read.
and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
Okay, now give me Exodus 2 and start at verse 23.
Exodus chapter 2 and verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage.
Read.
And they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage.
So why did God hear them? Why did God hear the Israelites? By reason of what? Bondage. We just read it. So by reason of bondage. Did they hear him because he said, what they say, you got to say the name? Yahweh. Was all of them just hollering, Yahweh? And he heard them? No, he heard them why? Because of the reason of the bondage, and they did what? He remembered, read on. I don't want to get too him.
Verse 24, and God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
Read.
And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them.
The covenant. You remember the covenant. So how you going to get delivered? You ain't got no covenant. What a covenant is? Give me Genesis verse 7. Verse 7.
Verse 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee.
So he remembered the covenant. He's a God to Abraham and his seed after them, right? So he remembered the covenant. All right. All right. Go back to, give me Exodus 3. And 7. Start at 7.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 7. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry, by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
So the Most High said, look, I see what you're going through. I've heard you. Okay. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to deliver you. And I'm going to give you these other dusty Africans' land. Okay. You're going to go in there and kill them dusty Africans, and you're going to get their land. Okay. That's what happened. And I don't tell you about that in the church, though. The Christian church now. I don't tell you about that. All right. Verse 9.
Verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
So who is God's people? The children of Israel is God's people. I thought everybody was God's people. No. The children of Israel is God's people. It didn't even change. Go to the New Testament, because sometimes people say, well, you know, in the New Testament, everybody is people. Read Romans 11 and 1.
The book of Romans, chapter 11, and verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Hold up. Paul said, look, has God cast away his people? Who is his people? The children of Israel, right? Read.
God forbid.
No. Read.
For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin.
You hear that? Where we at? The New Testament. Paul saying, look, I'm an Israelite. We still God's people. He ain't going to cast away his people. Okay? All right. All right. Now give me Exodus 12 and verse 1. So the Most High delivered us out of the hand of Egypt. That's what the Passover about. Okay? So I just wanted to go into it a little bit to show the new people why did he do it. Okay? Exodus 12 and 1.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
So when he was finna get ready to deliver the Israelites out of Egypt, he said, look, this is gonna be the new month, because that's the month he's gonna bring us out of Egypt. Okay, so what's the name of that new month? Who got the precept? Deuteronomy 16:1.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 1. Observe the month of Abib.
So the name of our first month, and the Most High finna bring us up out of Egypt, is the month of Abib. Read.
And keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God.
Okay, go back to Exodus 12 and 2.
Exodus 12 and 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Read.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel,
Read.
saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house.
You hear that? So this is the Most High telling Moses, you tell everybody in Israel to go get them a lamb on the 10th day. Okay, read. Verse 4.
Verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his
neighbor.
Let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls.
Read.
Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
Read.
Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats.
You hear that? So you can get a sheep or a goat. Okay, it can be from the sheep or from the goat. Okay, read.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month.
So you're supposed to keep this lamb. Go get you a lamb. And you keep it to the 14th day. Okay. Now we know we in slavery today. We got to do the best we could. Okay, because it's hard to just go out and buy a lamb. Okay, it ain't no place you can just walk up to and say, give me 2 of them lambs. Esau make us go to the grocery store. Now last year, also Saul was able to get us three lambs, okay, because he had took pictures of the lambs. They was running around. You put it on the group. You know that?
Yeah. You named them.
Did we name it? I ain't name no lambs. Anyway, also Saul he had did a little video of the lambs that we had last year, and they was running around. I was showing it to my wife, and she was like, "Eat them?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna eat them lambs." I bet if a chicken would run around, you wouldn't say that. I don't know, man. Our people so used to going to the grocery store. Y'all know that stuff actually live, right? Y'all know them chickens was actually running around, right? Man. All right, where we at, bro?
Verse 6.
Okay.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts, and on the upper doorposts of the house wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat.
So read on, verse 9.
Eat not of it raw, nor solid at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof.
Right. So when you cooking the lamb, can you deep fry? So you can't just cut him up and deep fry him. We like to cut up deep fry stuff. So when you're doing your Passover lamb, can you fry him? Why not? You gotta be roasted with fire, right? So don't call us talking about, can you boil the lamb first? I know some folks like to boil the lamb, get it tender. So what you gotta do to the lamb? You gotta roast with fire, right? So you can grill it, okay? Roast with fire. All right, verse 10.
Verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning he shall burn with fire.
So look, if you got some leftover lamb, oh, that lamb was good. Can you get up in the morning and eat some lamb? No, because why? The scripture said, verse 10, read that again.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire.
Verse 11.
And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoe on your feet, your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover.
Now, do we have to eat it like that? You don't eat it like that. Eat it with your staff in your hand. Verse 12. Gird up your loins.
In haste.
In haste. All right, verse 12.
Verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all of the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
You hear that? So he said he's going to pass through the land of Egypt this night and will smite all the firstborn of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt. So because the Egyptians had a lot of different gods, right? So I ain't going to go into all that, but we're going to break, if you come to the Passover, we're going to break all that down about how the Most High, he mocked all of the gods of Egypt, okay? Like, what's that dog god they had? Was it Osiris? What's the name of the dog?
That's the one the alphas were.
No, the Q dog. The Q dog. Anubis, right? Anubis. So he mocked all the gods. What is Anubis? He the god? Was he the god? I can't remember. Something like that. Anyway, the Most High mocked all of them. And when we do a whole Passover breakdown, you can see how the Most High mocked all the Egyptian gods, just letting them know that they didn't have no gods. Okay. All right. Verse 13.
Verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt.
So what if you put some blood on the posts of your house? What that was showing?
So you live right.
Okay, that showed what else though? It showed you had faith, right? Because if you did that, you believed it, right? Just like today, if you wear your fringes, that's showing that you really believe it, right? Because if you don't believe it, you ain't gonna wear them fringes, right? You ain't gonna wear that. You're like, I don't want that. Because you don't care. You don't believe it. Give me Hebrews, hold your finger there and give me Hebrews 11 and 28.
Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 28. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them.
You hear that? So through faith they would put that blood on the two posts, unless he that what does it say? Unless he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. So who destroyed the firstborn? Because he said, unless he that destroyed it. So who was the he that destroyed, who came in there and killed all the firstborn? Solomon 18 and 15. When you read the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, it goes into how the Most High destroyed the Egyptians, okay? Wisdom of Solomon 18, 15. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon, the Apocrypha, chapter 18 and verse 15.
Read.
Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne, as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction.
So it says, thine almighty word leaped from heaven out of thy royal throne. So who is the word? Give me John 1 and 1. So who leaped off their throne and did that?
The book of John, chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God.
What I want to skip down to 14? Is it 14? I ain't looking at it.
Verse 14. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us.
So who was the Word that was made flesh? Christ. So Christ leaped off his throne and put those dusty Africans to death.
Won't he do it?
Skip down to verse 22. Wisdom of Solomon 18:22. Won't he do it?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 22.
Really?
So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body, nor force of arms, but with a word subdued he him that punished, alleging the oaths and covenants made with the fathers.
So the destroyer, Christ was the destroyer. Okay, he come through there, and when he seen the blood, he passed over. Okay, but if you ain't have no blood on your house, what happened? You got put to death. Okay, same thing he said he gonna do. Give me that scripture, Zephaniah 1:8, because our women here, bro, they got a real problem with the Most High dress code. Not you women up in here. I'm just talking about the women in Memphis. How about that? Zephaniah 1:8.
Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
You hear that? So if he roll up and you got them apple bottoms on, sister, I don't know. I mean,
Through booking.
he threw booking. You roll up, you got them cute jeans. You might, according, I got to roll with the scripture. Scripture say he gonna punish. And then how he punish it? Give me Isaiah 66. Because he said by his what? Is he gonna plead with all flesh? Isaiah 66, 15.
Isaiah 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
You hear that? So when the destroyer come back, because he put a whole lot of folk to death in Egypt, he say he gonna put a whole lot of folk to death here in America. And all the people in Memphis that eat no baby back ribs. See what he say about them. Read on down, 17.
17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst.
Because they used to call them gardens. Today they call them churches. Okay, they just set up these gardens and they used to worship these idols. Okay, but now they go into their nice big buildings and worship the idol. Okay, because it ain't no God to everybody, right? So if you saying you going into this church to worship, you bowing your head, because don't they bow their head up in there? Yeah, they bowing to the God of everybody, which is Caesar. Okay, so read that again, verse 17.
They that sanctify themselves.
Because sanctify means cleanse, right? And what they say when they go to church, I'm finna get right. I'm gonna go to church, I'm gonna get right. That's what they say, right? So you going in there to sanctify yourself, to cleanse yourself, to get right. Read.
And purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Don't they eat swine's flesh in them churches? Because they don't say nothing wrong with that. They say as long as you pray over, you can eat it. Right? They sell Boston butts. It's an Edomite that worked near me, and every year he sell butts. His church sell butts for something they call it. I was like, wow, you know. So they eat Boston butts. They cook them at the church. They cook. Who don't know what a Boston butt is? All praise to the Most High. Y'all ain't never heard of a Boston butt? That's pig. I don't know if it's that. It's the butt.
It's the butt.
It's the butt.
It's gotta be the butt. You say it all the time.
It is the butt. This man here from the country, he said it is the butt.
He used to swing the axe.
So look, anyway, what I was saying, oh yeah, he sell He sell butts every year. And they come in. I remember he came in last year. He said, "You want to get you a couple butts?" I was like, "Nah." I said, "Nah, I try not to eat that pork." You gotta deal wisely with Esau.
You should have said pause.
Because, well, you gotta deal wisely on your job, right? You can't be, "Man, I don't eat that garbage." You just nah, I try not to eat that pork. I'm something like that because he's my customer. I still want to sell him, right? So you gotta deal wisely on your job. You can't be crazy on the job. "Oh, Esau, you're gonna die." Nah, don't do that. You going into slavery, Esau? All right, where we at, brother?
And the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord.
Because they eat all type of abominations in the church, right? They have crawfish boil on the Sabbath at the Christian church. We're gonna sell some crawfish. We're gonna sell crawfish. And they all kind of abominations. They have crab legs. The whole church they have a catfish fry at the church. They sell what kind of plates? Catfish plates. They sell fish plates on the Sabbath with the spaghetti with the ground butt in it. So Christ said he gonna kill you according to the Bible. Okay.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites. That's right. Take care of us. Take care of us. And our children too. And our children too. We have repented. We have repented. How about you? How about you? People want to know who's the king.
O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father. O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father.
Now why they trying to make it so hard to serve God? And why when I say that I'm a Jew it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.